Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we are taking a look at something very cool. Today we've got the smallest Artic Figures release ever. This is the juvenile, the young Tyrannosaurus Rex. Basically, it's the young Rex that we see in the Lost World Jurassic Park, the very, very young Rex that unfortunately has its leg broken, and Nick Van Owen and Sarah Harding helped to kind of patch the leg up and everything, and in general this Rex, I guess kind of with a mixture of Nick Van Owen, are partially responsible for the adult Tyrannosaurus showing up and attempting to kill everybody, but he has gone ahead and since he's just recently released, or is releasing in the Indiegogo campaign, the male and female adult Rex from the Lost World Jurassic Park. He's also gone ahead and sculpted out and created this really cool, little, tiny, really articulated figure. And this thing is so small. And if you don't believe me, let's bring it in here and move that out of the way. And you can now see how small it is in my hand. It is absolutely tiny. So small. Definitely one of, if not the smallest figures that I have as far as articulated dinosaur figures go. And it is an absolutely beautiful sculpt. It really is quite screen accurate. And even though the figure's so small, it's probably a little hard to really see how screen accurate it is. Luckily for us, Artic Figures had gone ahead and released this image here on his Instagram account, which really shows off just how accurate it is when it comes to the original version compared to the Artic Figures sculpt. So definitely an extremely accurate figure and also a really small one. So let's jump straight to a closer look at this right now. So again, when I tell you this is a very small figure, that is no lie. It is super tiny. But I went ahead and painted it probably, I guess, as best I could considering the size of the figure, and at a 1/38th scale release for a young Rex like this. But I can't wait to show you this Rex next to the adults because it is just the coolest visual. But if we get nice and close, you can see that the head sculpt looks really nice. Again, as screen accurate as it honestly can get. And we saw that with the image earlier, but you can definitely see it here with the actual figure itself. The eye area is very nicely sculpted out, as is the palate, and the nostrils are also sculpted out very nicely. And one thing that you might pick up on is the fact that we do have teeth on the inside of the mouth, like you would expect being a young Tyrannosaur. The jaw is also articulated, which you can see. Very nice articulation for something so small, but you can see that the detailing there on the inside of the mouth is actually really well done. And shockingly, you can see the teeth are all sculpted out really nicely, and it's impressive how good they look considering how small the figure is. Like, the teeth, in my opinion, genuinely look sharp. They genuinely look as realistic as it could possibly get when it comes to a figure this small. Super nice looking detailing on the inside of the mouth of the figure. You can also see we have a tongue sculpted out in there. So definitely the most amount of detail possible for a figure of this size. And again, you can see that the jaw articulates very nicely. As you move down the course of the neck, there's some really nice looking skin texture, some nice skin wrinkles and stuff, and we have quite a few different areas of articulation. As you move down the neck, you've got a spot here, you also have a spot here, and then a spot here, and that impressive amount of articulation allows you to really nicely pose the head of the Rex. Again, pretty much turning it whichever way you would like. And it looks really cool the way you can articulate the head and neck area, definitely creating a lot of different visuals, a lot of different possibilities as far as posability goes. As you move down here a little further into the body of the Rex, you can make out the shoulder blade right there. You can also see the arms are sculpted nicely. You can pick out some muscle definition in those really tiny arms, but the arms also look great as far as the sculpt goes. I really love the positioning of the arms. I think the positioning of the arms is pretty much perfect for a Jurassic Park style young T-Rex like this. The fingers are also really nicely sculpted, and if we kind of let the hand here on this side out within that white area, it really shows off how nice the nails look and everything on the fingers. The nails are really beautiful for something so tiny, and they also genuinely look sharp just like the teeth did. As you move back into the stomach region, you can see more kind of skin wrinkles and skin folds in the lower part of the stomach, and then you can also see some more really nice texturing to the skin. We have another articulated joint right there in the midsection, so you can turn your Rex and kind of pose it all over the place in that area as well. As you move back a little further, you've got the hip bone, as well as some nice muscle definition in the thigh and calf region. As you lead down, you've got a beautiful looking foot sculpt, super nice, very JP-like foot sculpt for your Rex. You can see as well over on this foot. Again, really nice scoots down the toes, beautifully sculpted nails. Yet again, look at those nails. They genuinely look sharp. really nicely sculpted out. Foot sculpt, you also have the dew claw back there, which you can see right there. That as well is sculpted onto the Rex. And as you move down the leg, you have articulation, of course, in the hip region. You also have articulation in the knee, and then you've got a spot of articulation right here, which again gives you lots of different possibilities as far as posability. And then as you lead out into the tail, you can see that the detailing of the tail also looks really nice. Maybe not sitting perfectly to make it look super pretty, but you can see that the actual texturing again looks great. You can make out some like creasing and stuff in the skin as you lead out the length of the tail. And again, you have a ton of articulated joints moving out into the tail, as you've got one here, 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 and here. So that again allows some really nice possibilities as far as posing the tail. You can make the tail pretty much go wherever you would like. Really smooth articulation right there. Look at how nice that is if you want the tail to go down. So you've got some really nice articulation as far as the tail goes. Again, pretty much a stop motion dream are these Artic Figures releases. And again, the detailing on the underside actually looks phenomenal, just like it does up here on the upper side of the Rex. You've got even that classic JP style sculpt and detail there as far as that kind of trademark skin texture for the lower part of the body. And again, it looks great, honestly, from every side. You're not really going to see much difference over here compared to the initial side because it's an articulated figure in a neutral pose, so it's up to you to kind of display it. So sculpt-wise, it's probably going to look the same over here, but definitely another incredible release from Artic Figures. I am just completely in love with this figure because, again, it is incredibly screen accurate, but also so small, and with so much articulation for its size, it is a very impressive release yet again from Artic Figures. So let's go ahead and check it out with its parents. There is our T-Rex family complete now with the male, the female, and our young Rex, that little baby T-Rex down there. And you can see how awesome they look together. Again, they are all to scale with each other, which makes it even cooler, but the baby, again, just really completes the package, really completes the scene, and honestly, having the entire family here is quite possibly the coolest feeling to actually have all three of the different Rexes from the Lost World Jurassic Park all looking as screen accurate as it gets when it comes to their sculpts. And again, my paint jobs here hopefully are pretty good as far as what the Tyrannosaurs look like, and I hopefully captured their likeness, especially with this new baby addition to the Tyrannosaurs here. But this here is the payoff, I think, when it comes to having all three together and just having probably the coolest Jurassic Park diorama I could possibly imagine with all of the different Tyrannosaurs. As far as a size for our baby, again, you can definitely see it is very, very small. So for a length, you were looking at about 3.5 inches or around 9 centimeters. And then for a height, about 1.75 inches or about 4.5, closing in on 5 centimeters. So pretty small for sure for a size comparison. There is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our little baby Artic Figures Tyrannosaurus Rex. And you can see exactly how they size up to each other and also exactly how small this baby Rex is. It is so crazy how good the sculpt and detail and articulation is on something so small. And I really feel like these figures next to it help to show you just how impressive this baby Rex is. And then for a few random comparisons, we have one of the Mattel Bendy Biters as well as the Toy Monster International Captives Dimetrodon next to our young Rex here. Yet again, showing you that this Rex, actually I should probably move this up a little bit so it's a little bit more in line with the Rex, but showing you again how impressively small but yet incredible this Tyrannosaurus is. And then for one more and one final comparison, we have a Mattel Mini Ceratosaurus. This is one of the older minifigures from Mattel, as well as the Takara Tomy Jurassic World Dominion Giganotosaurus next to our Rex. And you can see the Rex is easily smaller than every figure here before it, but I would say better as far as the detail goes and better as far as the articulation goes, obviously, than either of the other figures here, with it really showing you yet again how extremely impressive this young Rex from Artic Figures is. So this brand new Artic Figures Tyrannosaurus, the young T-Rex from the Lost World Jurassic Park, is the perfect addition to the Indiegogo campaign that's currently going on for these Tyrannosaurs, the adults, because if you're going to go ahead and get yourself an Artic Figures T-Rex, you're definitely going to want to grab the baby as well, because why wouldn't you want the whole family? And Artic Figures has done a phenomenal job yet again on sculpting this baby out to look exactly as it does on screen in the Lost World Jurassic Park, just with loaded amounts of articulation on this version. Again, like I had shown you earlier with that image of the kind of side-by-side with the sculpt next to the original young T-Rex, you really saw how screen accurate it was, so it's so cool to see it here to the figure in hand. The fact that this figure is so small and sports so much insane beautiful detail and so much impressive articulation is honestly mind-blowing. I'm really impressed with this figure, and that's putting it mildly, and the fact that it can stand freely on its own is also extremely impressive considering how small the figure is. Now, this version was an unpainted version. I painted it up myself, so this is how mine looks. Obviously, if you paint yours up, it can look however you want, and I would imagine Artic Figures would probably be offering a painted version of his T-Rex as well, of this young Rex, so you could always go for the painted version on the Indiegogo campaign. But one way or another, if you are interested in this young Rex, or the adults, or all three, make sure you head to the link in the description, run over to the Indiegogo campaign of Artic Figures right now before it runs out of time, because it only lasts, I think, like 30 days, usually are those Indiegogo campaigns, and make sure you grab yourself this or any of the other Tyrannosaurs that you want to get a hold of before the Indiegogo campaign expires. And again, own yourself the Lost World Jurassic Park family of Tyrannosaurs. So make sure you check that link in the description, go grab this beautiful baby Rex, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.